Hello everybody. So today we're going to talk about equivalent fractions, and that is supposed to be our mission 4 of unit 2.A. So when we talk about equivalent fractions, equivalent means something is equal. So keep that in mind. When we are talking about fractions and something is equal, it means those fractions, they have to be equal to each other. So equivalent fractions worksheet will be the ones that you will practice with. But let's find out what is the equivalent and how do we calculate that. So find fraction that is equivalent. Now we know they have the same value but may look different. So for example, 1/2 is when we have one whole circle and we divide this in two pieces. But also, if we have 2/4, it's one circle that is divided by 4 pieces total, and 2 of them are marked. So if you look at those two fractions, 1/2 and 2/4, they represent exactly the same thing. They look different. We're using equivalent numbers, but actually the value is the same. They're equal to each other. That is the same thing when we talk about 3/6 or 4/8. So all of those fractions have different numbers, but their value is the same. Because imagine if this is a pizza and all that you ate already and what is left, it's equal amount for all 4 pizzas. So 12/48, the equivalent fraction for this will be, we have to look for what will be the greatest common number when we can divide and simplify. And sometimes, let's say, well, we're not always so sure and we gotta keep trying and trying until we get to the simplest form. So one quick tip will be, we're gonna divide by 2, because if we have even numbers, divided by 2 will always work. So let's divide by 2 the top and divide by 2 the bottom. And we will get 12 divided by 2 is 6, 48 divided by 2 is 24. Another fraction that has even numbers, so we will keep going and dividing by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Awesome. And the last thing that I'm gonna try is to divide by 3 both of those, because if you can simplify any further, you have to keep going. And 3 fits into 12 perfectly, so if I divide by 3 the top, I will get 1, and 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. So 1/4, 3/12, 6/24, all of those are equivalent to 12/48. So all those are equivalent to each other. Now, let's take a look at a couple examples and we will compare some fractions. So example 1, what is the missing number? So, let's see what we have. We have one circle that has 4 total pieces. Then we have another circle that has 8 total, and another one that has 12 total. So if this is 6/8, 6/8 means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total, and 6 of those are marked. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are marked. So what will be the missing number here? If I want to go from here to here, what do I do with those numbers? Well, first, if you look at, this is the only empty piece here, right? So first thing, if we have pictures, I can say, well, this piece will be empty because they must match and be equal. So then I'm gonna cover this, this, and this. But this makes how many pieces? 3 pieces. So there you go. And basically from 6/8 to go to 3/4, I just had to divide by 2. And I go in this direction. Now, what happened here? Again, we have so many pieces and we want this part over here to stay empty, right? Because that's the corner we're looking for. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces that I need to cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 are covered over 12 total. But also, if you think about from 8 to 12, if we, um, how do we go from 8 to 12? So we have, or also we can think about backwards, 12 to 8. So what do we do here? How do we simplify that? Well, if you think about dividing by 3, both of those, we will get 3, and 12 divided by 3, 4, right? 3 fourths, and this one is 3 fourths. So basically we can equal those two fractions. But if you look at through the pictures, all of the pictures have exactly the same amount of leftover pizza, and only one portion, this one over here, this one over here, and this one over here, that are gone already. So it doesn't matter how do we play with the numbers and what numbers we're using. Well, it does matter, but what numbers we're using in this certain pictures to describe the problem. If we simplify, basically we will always have this same answer. And why is that? Because this is 3 fourths, this one is 3 fourths, and this divided by 2 will also give us 3 fourths, right? So all of those are equivalent fractions. Okay, so in order to get to the missing number, you just simply have to simplify and come up with the numbers. So in the next example, we have, are these fractions equivalent to each other? Now, in order to tell if the fractions are equivalent, you have to have the very simplest form. You gotta simplify both fractions as much as you can, and then you compare. And if they are the same, then they're equivalent. If they are different, they're not equivalent, basically not equal. So 3/5, well, this is the only possible. We can't go any further here. But 15 over 25. Now, definitely we can divide by 5, both of those. Divided by 5 will be their common multiple. So we get 15 divided by 5, 3, 25 divided by 5, 3/5. So yes, those are equal. You get yes here. Those are equivalent fractions. 4/10. Well, 4 and 10 we can simplify by divided by 2, right? Both are even numbers, so this will change to 2 and this will change to 5. 2/5, that's what we get here. Now let's go ahead and divide those. Now those are even, we can divide by 2, but also if you have round numbers by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, all of those are divisible by 10. So I'm gonna say just divide by 10 and simplify. 10 divided by 10 is 1, 30 divided by 10 is 3. So 2/5 and 1/3 are not equal. This is what it says, not equal. So no, those two fractions are not equivalent will be the answer. And the next example, 3/6. Well, both of those are divisible by 3. So basically we have 1/2. 8 over 16, well, 8 fits over through the 16, right? How many times? Twice. So we can divide by 8 both of those. 8 divided by 8 is 1, 16 divided by 8 is 2. 1/2 is equal to 1/2, so yes, those two are equivalent to each other. So, the main idea, the whole thing that we're focusing in today's learning target is being able to simplify the fractions and compare them and decide which one is equal to which one, are they equivalent or not. In the next example, we will take a look of how to solve equations by using equivalent fractions. So basically the question here is, if you want to solve this equation and your goal is to know what x is equal to. So now the question is, how do we get from here to here, from 24 to 12? And I know you know the answer already, and you said, well, we'll divide by 2. 24 divided by 2 will give us 12. So now whatever we do on the bottom, we do the same thing on the top. We divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So x here is equal to 9. In the next example, z, or the unknown variable, is on the bottom. So I have to decide how did I get from 42 to 6. So 42 divided by what number will give us 6? And the answer is 7. So I'm going to divide 49 by 7 too. 49 divided by 7 is 7. So z, the unknown number here, is 7. In the next example, we have y over 15 is equal to 9 over 45. So backwards, here's the fraction. How do we get from 45 to 15? 45 divided by what number will give us 15? And the answer is 3. Same thing on the top, 9 divided by 3 will give us 3. So y is equal to 3. Final example of this lesson is 16 over n equals 8 over 14. Okay, so from 8 to 16, how do we get? So now we're going from smaller to a larger number, which means we gotta multiply. 8 times 2 will give us 16. And same thing, 14 times 2, we do the same exact operation, will give us that n is 28. Final answer. Alright, so I hope it makes sense. How do we simplify fractions and how we compare them if they're equivalent, and also if we have equations, how do we get the missing number or the unknown variable here. So we will have more discussions and examples in the classroom. Save your questions for, or just simply write a comment under the discussion board so we can get through the answers together. Thank you for watching the video and have a great day.